Right, another disappointing result for Enzo Maresca's Chelsea, coming away from Selhurst Park with a 1-1 draw. It seems like the same mistakes are starting to creep in, week out. And there are, for the first time during his tenureship, probably quite credible questions being asked of Enzo Maresca and his in-game management. We're going to get into all of that in today's video. We are going to review the Crystal Palace game. But before we do all of that, please do me a massive favour. I know no one feels like it off the back of dropping points, but hit the like button right now. Subscribe to the channel. And just to make you look even happier, I am joined by the big dog, Josh Aveste. Josh, what's happening, mate?
I'm here. Look, I need you to cheer me up, mate, because that result felt like a loss, didn't it? And let's be honest, I'm not feeling that confident after one win in 5 games in the Premier League.
What felt worse?
It's a little bit concerning.
The result or the botched recording?
I wouldn't even worry about the botch recording.
I'm still fuming about it.
We move on.
We
can have fun in this video.
We were in straight away after the match to record this one and we fucked it up. So either way, on to the next one.
Who fucked it up worse, Chelsea or this studio?
No shade on the studio.
We love the
we should have done a sound check. Look, we are obviously still sat fourth in the Premier League table. For the time being, that can't change. But my God, Newcastle are breathing down our necks. And not only that, they're in fine form. When you look at Newcastle at the moment, you don't really see where the next loss is coming from.
5 wins in 5.
If 5 wins in 5.
In the Premier League.
Yeah. Who else have got 5 wins in 5?
Tell me.
Nottingham Forest.
Who would have thought that, by the way, at the start of the season? Nuno, should Spurs have ever sacked him?
Oh, my
you said
God.
it.
Mate, imagine that.
Fucking
Spurs at the minute, like, oh my God, surely he's got to be next in line for the sack race. Old Ange Postecoglou,
This is a
mate.
good question, right? If they had kept Nuno and Postecoglou went to Forest, who would be higher in the table now?
Well, you'd have to say Spurs.
You'd have to say Nuno.
With the players
Yeah.
they've got at their disposal, Spurs. And I don't know, like, they're just so Spursy. They're just so Spursy because sometimes I see games of them and I think, you're all right, you are doing well. Solanke's actually fitting in better than maybe I thought he might have done. But
The fact you could name 6 teams that you're worried about for the 4th position over Spurs is an indictment of how bad
I can
they
name
are.
more than 6.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could name a
For
minimum
fourth
of
spot.
6.
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
Manchester City. Fulham. Brighton. Aston Villa. That's 7 over Spurs. And I'm genuinely,
Bournemouth?
I'd put them around the same, but I don't want to speak
Brighton?
badly about them too.
Brighton?
I said Brighton, didn't I?
Brentford?
Nah.
I'm still more worried about Brentford than I am Spurs. 100%.
Nah. Spurs have enough to turn it on in the big game. I mean,
Do they?
they beat City this season, didn't they?
They did, but they didn't have a 19-year-old centre-back in that game. They didn't have a third-choice goalkeeper, which they have right now.
Speaking of young centre-backs, let's have a little speak about today's lineup because
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, I saw today's starting lineup and I had an air of optimism.
How different
about
was
me.
it from your predicted lineup?
Well,
Yeah.
it was
You had Tosin playing, didn't you?
one change out
Yeah.
from my predicted lineup.
You had Tosin instead of Josh.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, what I did say in there was I would not be adverse to Josh Achampong starting this match. Hardcore will know that I've been shouting from the rooftops for what? 3, 4, 5 weeks now about Josh Achampong.
Bring up the comments now. Just put the comments to me now. What were they saying about Josh Achampong?
So they weren't really saying much about Josh Achampong. They were more talking about you. The main thing that they were more talking about Josh Aveste.
Yeah. Were they? Was it lots of kind words to say how good my football opinions are?
Not quite. They were basically saying that you got it wrong because I said that Malo Gusto can 100% start in the same starting 11 as Josh Achampong. And you said that he couldn't. Yeah. Today, he did.
How did that go?
We gained 1 more point than we could have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we didn't lose.
No, but like in all honesty, I've seen worse defensive performances from Chelsea this season.
I honestly don't know your opinion on this. I'm very interested. Is Josh Achampong a centre-back or a right-back? Let's just say conventional 4-4-2. Like, fuck the system. Like, don't worry about the system.
Yeah.
What is he?
He's slim. I'd like him to fill out a bit.
Mm.
If he fills out a bit, he's a right back. And in the system we play, he's kind of perfect.
If he was in the gym with you, do you reckon you could bulk him up and get him that muscle mass that he needed to get to be a centre back?
How tall is he?
I reckon he's 6'2", 6'3".
6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
Right?
As a 19-year-old.
You've seen me... Listen, I don't do no weights, yeah?
You don't do no weights.
You've seen what I'm like.
I've seen those
You've
legs.
been in the gym with me many a time. You've seen the legs. You've been in the gym with me many a time out in Saudi.
I have.
Truth or lie,
Yeah.
I could easily out bench press Joshua Changpong.
Yeah, that's not even a debate.
It's not even up for debate,
That's not
is
even
it?
a debate. I reckon you could out squat Joshua Champong.
Nah,
I think you could.
nah, I don't know. I don't know about
Don't
that.
rate your
But
squatting.
either way, what I would say is because of his slim build, you'd sort of say that you'd want him to fill out a little bit to become a centre back.
Yeah.
At the same time, he's very young, 21 years old or
I
something
think
like
he's
that.
less than that.
Is he? What is he?
I think he might be 19, 20.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So either way, he's got time. He will fill out. And in the system that we play, if we, let's say, invert the right back, which Enzo Maresca quite likes to do, even though Malo Gusto...
I would say misguidedly.
Yeah, even though Malo Gusto is way worse at inverting than Cucurella is, at the same time, I understand that maybe sometimes Cucurella may need to be held back because of the fact that, again, despite being young in age, he has that maturity and he has that Premier League experience and know how to be part of that back line. The problem happens when Cucurella decides, do you know what? I'm one of the better players in this team and I can have more going forward. And then you've got Malo Gusto going in there. And then you're left with Caicedo covering and two young lads at the back, albeit Levi Colwell young and, you know, starting every game this match and experienced the baller. But at the same time as that, defensively, things are going massively wrong. Things are going wrong at the moment. And we will catch up and do a January transfer rundown episode.
That's something we're desperately in need of.
Yeah.
Because I think there are some gaps in this team.
Yep.
And I think there are some gaps in which people wouldn't necessarily think that I would be suggesting transfers for. So I think that's a video that you're going to have to stay tuned for. It's going to come. We're going to do it in January, but I think that's going to be a banger of a video.
It's probably going to be done on Thursday, to be honest.
Yeah, that's
probably going to be done. Might land Thursday night, Friday morning, this video.
What
However, I think people will be quite surprised because some of the positions that you were naming,
you were shocked by.
I was a little bit shocked by.
But that's fine. That's fine. That will make the video all the more exciting.
But then what we need to take into consideration is there's a lot of players that need to be on their bike in this next transfer
I think
window.
the summer window might be more or the same turbulence as the previous one.
Yeah.
In terms of the summer window. I think there'll be players that will be moved on that you wouldn't expect to be moved on.
Yeah.
Namely, who am I going to say? Who's going to be the most high-profile exit in the summer of 2025?
Nkunku.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Christopher Nkunku.
Yeah?
I reckon he will be the highest profile. I mean, if João Felix goes, Nkunku is still the higher profile out of the two, isn't he?
To be honest, neither João Felix or Christopher Nkunku were Enzo Maresca's players.
No.
Enzo Maresca's been open about the fact that the club wanted to sign João Felix, and we know that that was part of the Samu Conor Gallagher triangle that fell through and whatnot. And Nkunku was on a pre-agreement from the season before when I think Mauricio Pochettino was manager, and even when it was Poch, he still probably didn't sign him. So Nkunku's a good player. He just doesn't fit our system that we're playing at this moment in time.
He does. He could fit the system if Cole Palmer hadn't been signed.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big difference. Do you know what was really bad? What was the game? Was it the Ipswich game where João Felix and Nkunku and Cole Palmer were all on the pitch at the same time? That was so bad because every single one of them wanted to play as a number 10. And if you looked at the heat map, they were all playing as a number 10.
Starting Nkunku in that game was criminal.
Yeah.
Away from home.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, people, I'm going to get pelters in the comments section. I would honestly start Mark Gu ahead of Nkunku. I wouldn't start Mark Gu in a number 10 ahead of Nkunku, but if we're talking number 9s, let's say Morecambe. Let's say Morecambe next week.
Yep.
Yeah? Morecambe. God's honest truth, would you rather see, and don't take this from a point of like, oh, nurturing in talent. I'm on about you're the manager.
Yeah,
and
who's the better number 9?
You're the neck.
Yeah,
your neck is on the line
Yeah.
if you lose this game and go out the second domestic cup
Yeah.
already, and then all we've got to fight for is Champions League and Conference League, right? So you're the manager. Your neck's on the line. You can only start one number 9. And it's not Nicholas Jackson. Who do you start?
I would be starting Mark Hugh.
There you go.
Do you know the cop-out
There you
answer
go.
to that question is I'd be also playing Christopher Nkunku, but as the number 10.
Yeah, but we don't like you got splinters in your arse there.
Sitting
on the fence, mate. Sitting on the fence.
I don't think that's sitting on the fence. I think what I'm saying is Christopher Nkunku isn't a number 9. I've always said that from the get-go. And and Mark Hugh is.
Well, listen.
Can we?
I don't think, you were saying like a surprise.
Yeah.
It's not really a surprise. Nkunku's going to go because we've got Estavio coming in. Estavio?
Estavio.
Estavio, I prefer.
Estevao. Whatever you want to say, really.
Do you know what the rule of thumb is with me? 6 months at the club.
Yeah.
6 months.
I also think we're allowed to sort of make up a nickname for
6
them.
months at the club.
Yeah.
And I will get your name right.
But also, I think you can also just say Kepa is Kepa.
Yeah. Dave's Dave.
Dave's Dave.
You know what I mean?
I think we've always had Shevers.
Yeah. There you go.
Why not?
And a Changpong, we just call him Josh.
We just call him Josh Boy.
It's funny, isn't it, though? Like, I just call Reece.
Yeah.
But I'd never go Levi.
I quite like Levi.
No, but you wouldn't say it, would you?
They need to do a deal with Levi, by the way.
I'd go Reece at the back. You know what I mean? But
Colwell.
I'd never go Levi centre back. It's Levi Colwell centre back.
So Levi Colwell, you have to say both names, is what you're saying. There are quite a few players that you do have to say both names.
When I was at school, right, there was no other Joey. There was not one other Joey. Not in my year or class in the whole school. There was not one other Joey.
But you were still called Joey Knight.
Still called Joey Knight.
And what is that? Does it just roll off the tongue a little bit smoother?
It's sort of the opposite to a Brazilian. You know Brazilians when they only get caught, not that.
What, shaving?
Not the snail trail.
Oh, okay, right.
Got
Manscaped
to take care of that.
Sorry, I had that in my mind there.
No.
Sorry, I was getting very distracted.
You've also got it on your search history, you dirty bugger. No, but I was like the opposite of a Brazilian in terms of like the Brazilian.
Stop saying it, because every time you say it, I'm imagining
Fred, Ronaldo,
yeah,
whoever, Casemiro. Whereas I was great adult actress. Great adult actress. Now, we had a whole segment on ex-adult actresses in the first podcast,
which
but
that
one went down the pan, so no one will ever see that one.
But let us know in the comments who your favourite adult actress is.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah. I would go for... I like a bit of Canella Skin.
Are these still alive? This
young
lady? Yeah.
I draw the line there. Once they're gone, I won't tug one out.
Yeah, but there were a couple that you didn't even know about.
Out of respect, I might.
There was a couple you didn't even know about though, and then you're like, oh fuck,
I've had one.
Yeah. I've had 10.
Yeah. This morning. Yeah. Come on then, let's speak about the fucking game. I suppose that's what we have to do on this channel.
Do we have to?
Go on.
Yeah. So the first big moment of the game was our goal. I think Manchester United fans might be calling in, if this was a cool show tonight, crying their night away because they have lost their best player. Is Bruno Fernandes better than Sancho?
No, nowhere near.
No. So they're looking at that. I would say the most exquisite dummy I've seen since I spat mine out 33 years ago.
Yeah. Well, you was on a dummy until 7, was ya?
I'm not,
don't like the taste of your own medicine, do you?
No, but that little shimmy was an exquisite bit of football.
Oi, and here's us saying he only likes the ball to feet, Sancho.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He does though.
Oh, he does. But I tell you what, that is the thing of it. That is why, like, he's so brilliant with those instinctive, genius little moments, right? He knows that everyone knows that he likes the ball to feet. So the defender, the right back, he's not even thinking about that, mate. Sancho has a look. Oh, going to take his feet. No, I'm not going to go around the other side here. Gets that. And you know those moments of brilliance, yeah? There are 90% of those moments get forgotten. Why?
Tell me.
Because they don't lead to a goal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I follow a page on TikTok. I wish I knew the name because I'd shout it out. But it's like, like unreal moments that
never lead to goals.
that are forgotten because they never led to a goal. And you
Yeah.
only remember the ones that are led to goals.
So
Do you know
true.
what I mean? Like if Bergkamp does what he does against Newcastle, do you remember all those years ago?
I love that touch.
If he does what he does but hits the post, no one ever remembers it.
It's probably my favourite Arsenal moment because I don't really have many others.
Nah.
The Giroud goal. The Giroud goal from the Wilshere tap, the tippy tapper.
It was Wilshere that scored the goal.
Well,
it was Giroud
from
that assisted
Giroud.
him.
There you go, yeah.
No, my favourite Arsenal moment was when they rocked up to the bridge and got spanked 6-0.
Who got sent off?
Name it.
Who
Kieran.
got
Kieran,
who actually got sent off?
Kieran Gibbs or Oxlade-Chamberlain.
No, but who actually got sent off?
Ox got sent off, but it was supposed to be Kieran Gibbs.
I'm pretty sure it was Kieran Gibbs on the line. It would have made sense if it was. So
Who scored Chelsea 6th?
Must have been the Ox. Was it Salah?
Mo Salah.
Yeah, I was going to say
Salah.
Oscar then, so I was glad I didn't.
Never
say
had
Salah.
a chant at Stamford Bridge.
Do you know what?
He was pony.
Would
really,
you
wasn't he?
rather? Would you rather have had Salah or De Bruyne?
I think at the moment it's quite easy to steer towards Salah because of
I think if you
obviously a
look at
drop
the
in
career, though-
form and injuries
Yeah,
over the
yeah.
past couple of
Yeah.
seasons and whatnot. But realistically, I would have rather had De Bruyne from the stance of being gutted when he left as
Yeah.
opposed to like not caring when Salah left. Like I remember I was sat in the pub with my mates and we played
It was a cup game.
David Moyes' Man United.
Is this what you're talking about?
I believe we drew with them this
Okay.
day, right? And for some reason, whoever the Chelsea manager was at the time, can't remember, might have been Jose, he started Kevin De Bruyne. And I was going to my pals. I was going, you see this blonde kid, yeah? I see him play at Stamford Bridge. I see him
Ginger.
play. I was saying, I see him play at Stamford Bridge. I see him play at Stamford Bridge. He's fucking
good.
wicked. He's wicked because obviously it was almost like you know how Man United signed Ronaldo off the back of that Sporting Lisbon match they had against him, and he lit it up. I remember De Bruyne playing at Stamford Bridge and really,
Who was
really
he playing
looking.
for at the time? I can't remember.
Genk or Ghent? Genk.
I think it
Genk.
might have been Genk.
Genk, one of the, is like
Yeah.
a Belgian club. Either way, he started that match. I said, he's wicked, this kid. He had a bit of a stinker. Didn't really get into the first team all that much again. Sold him, and I was gutted. And I knew I was right because he went on to, I was about to say bigger and better things. He went on to be good, basically.
He went on to big things after that.
Yeah.
Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
Wolfsburg. Who did he went to after Wolfsburg?
Won the
He goes to
Champions
another
League.
German
He won the Champions League in 2021. Champions League final with Manchester
Oh, no, he
City and
didn't.
Porto. Oh,
No, he didn't win that.
no, he didn't.
No, who did win that game?
I think it was Chelsea. Hold on.
Yeah, let me just have a look. Let me just remember that day.
Chelsea.
Yeah,
Chelsea. It
yeah,
was Chelsea. Yeah. Man City.
wonderful run by Timo Werner.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I don't.
the dummy run.
I don't remember any of the players involved in the goal.
Yeah.
To be honest,
No, you can remember Timo Werner. He's
Don't
all right.
remember a
I don't
cer-
dislike Timo Werner.
yeah, I remember Werner. Werner done
Yeah,
good
yeah.
work.
Good
Good
run.
work.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
work.
I don't remember the
remember
pass.
who assisted it, and I
No.
don't remember who scored it. But I like the others. Should we
Yeah.
get back onto the match?
Do we? Do we have to? I'm just
Listen,
enjoying all the good signs.
By the way, yeah, there you go. It's easier. It heals the heart. When Sancho dummies that, lets it go around the side, Cole Palmer still has a fair bit to do. He takes a touch on the left foot, then he slots one home. Lovely bit of work from the Palm dog there.
Even when Cole Palmer isn't playing at his imperious best,
Yeah.
he still has moments throughout the game
Yeah.
which are exceptional.
He's a stats man, mate. Like, even when Cole Palmer isn't freezing cold and he's just lukewarm, he's still getting the stats.
He's still decent.
still bringing them in.
I'd be complaining to my plumber if he was as tepid as he was. But still,
Yeah.
when he's freezing cold, it's bloody good.
It is cold. It is cold.
I love Cole Palmer.
Did we
so
create much more after that?
Not really, no.
Nah. Nah.
No, the first half, we had a few chances, didn't we? There was that one where Jackson puts it behind the goal. Do you remember that one where the ball comes over the top? We thought it went in
Yep.
when we were watching
Well,
it.
there was that one chance, but there was also the opportunity that Nicholas Jackson had. He gets fed through. He's one-on-one with a defender. He does well to turn, but he doesn't seem like he has the confidence in his left foot.
Yeah.
At the same time as me saying he's not confident in hitting it with his left foot, what did you remind me of? A goal that he had scored.
West Ham, the goal where he scores it with the outside of his right boot.
Assist
and it was a
from
brilliant
Caicedo.
one. Yeah, it was a brilliant goal. We know that he can curve it. And to be fair, when we first watched it, we went, how close actually was that? But on viewing of the reverse camera angle, it was very close
was
indeed.
close. It was close.
Almost skimmed the post.
Trivia. best ever player to curl it by choice with the outside of the boot.
The one that's sticking out for me is an Oscar goal, but I don't think you're going to say Oscar.
No.
Who
I'll
was
give
it?
you a clue. He played for Chelsea. I watched him play in a 0-0 draw against Hull City.
1 second. The answer is actually, do you want to know the correct answer? Is the Papi Cisse goal against Chelsea.
Yeah, that's just a goal. I'm on about a player who consistently, out of choice, just used to curl shots, free kick. He used to take set pieces with the outside of his foot.
Alex.
Ricardo Quaresma.
Oh, fuck yeah, Charisma.
He was so cool, man.
Do you know what? I bet a lot of people would have forgotten that he even played for Chelsea, Charisma.
He only done 6 months. I think he scored a goal against Coventry in the Cup. I believe we won that game 3-1. I think that Alex also scored in that game.
Do you know why I loved having Charisma play for Chelsea? Because when I created my FIFA Ultimate Team, he was the only player at Chelsea at the time that had 5-star skill moves.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was sick. He used to do the old... whoop.
Yeah. Did a flip-flap. Can you do any skill moves in real life? Can you do, a nice Rabona?
I've had a few Rabonas.
Again, over Lisa Ann.
Yeah, there you go.
Beyond that, in the first half, I don't... there was a Joshua Champong header, wasn't there? I think beyond that, there was a few good saves from Sanchez, but we went in at half-time and we basically said we need a goal straight after the half-time.
Let's quickly speak about Robert Sanchez, because I think that he made a couple of good saves, but I also think he was aerially dominant in the box. He was a presence in the box. He was brave. He was coming out low for shots. He was putting his body on the line.
Yeah.
I think that there's definitely a progression that I'm seeing over the last few matches of Robert Sanchez. Would you agree with that?
I would, and I would probably say now that he has warranted the first choice place. I think he's...
Do you think the defence have got a bit more... And I mean, the defence at the minute is rotated, but definitely Levi Colwell got a bit more confidence in him now.
Yeah, but then it's rich saying that when we've just lost to Ipswich and we've just had...
Through no fault of Robert Sanchez.
And what I'm saying is it's very difficult to praise a defence when we've had 3 awful performances, really. Yeah. I mean, the Fulham result is a capitulation, maybe not of the defence, but certainly the team. The Ipswich goals, while the first one I think was unwarranted in the penalty, the second one is a defensive error, but that's Disassi. Yeah, your mate Disassi. You're a big fan of Disassi.
Now,
Disassi's fan club, Joey Knight, family member.
I don't mind him. I just got a soft spot for him. I'd still sell him for 10 mil if we could get it. I don't care. Either way, come out for the second half. No changes. That's no shock for us. But we had a couple of opportunities. Enzo Fernandez has a couple of shots that come a little bit close. Nicholas Jackson also has a shot on the left peg that also comes close. But I turned around to you at the 70-minute mark and I said, mate, we've not made any subs. And I shouldn't have said it because I've jinxed it. But I said at the time to you, I said, I'll tell you what, he will get hammered for not making changes earlier if we let this goal slip. Now,
but you know what? The bench was, Joey, the bench was shit, wasn't it? There wasn't
the bench was fucking stacked.
There wasn't any good players on the bench.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
No, you've only got the likes of Mark Ewing, Nkunku, João Felix, Renato Vega, Reece James. Fucking hell, is there any more? Tossing. You've been tossing a bit, haven't you?
Disassi. Lisa Ann again.
There you go.
We should call this the Lisa Ann podcast today because we've mentioned her name so much.
Not more times than I've over her.
Yeah. No, it's getting to be a problem now, and we do have to say this. I think this is perhaps an area in which Maresca will get the most criticism, and probably warranted criticism. And I think while he isn't under pressure as a manager because he's had a fantastic start to the season, I think there's going to be a lot of Chelsea fans now saying, you need to make these subs quicker. Yep. The first sub was on 79 minutes. In a game in which we could have...
At that point, if you're gonna only go to the bench on 79 minutes, go to the bench and bring 3 on.
And also bring on a defender. Yeah. We've got, as we say, a 19, 20-year-old centre-back. We've got Levi Colwell on a yellow card. We've got Malagust, who I think, am I being unfair here to say he had a pretty meh game? Average game?
He's had a few meh games.
Yeah. So I think really for me, the substitution to make would have been a Tosin and then push Josh over to the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Like, just do that. Bring off Malagusto and then give Colwell some support. I think you could also argue that potentially the midfield could have been refreshed.
Well, mate, even when we're 1-0 up, right? Yeah. Listen, when you're desperate for a win, I will take that win by any means. When you're 1-0 up, there's no harm in taking, let's say, Pedro Neto off, for example, sticking Cole Palmer on that right wing and not having that 10 in that space, but instead taking Pedro Neto off, putting Renato Vega in there. Yeah. And yeah, there may be a little bit of an attacking drop-off, but it will be made up for in fresh legs and physicality. Do you know what I mean?
A lot of managers have been criticised recently for their lack of pragmatism, for their lack of their ability to make a change in their system. For example, it isn't working for Manchester United at the moment, and Amorim sticks to the 5-at-the-back system. He brings on defenders mid-game, right? And I think there are other managers that are... Postecoglou could be another example, right? Constantly sticks to the system. I think Maresca is going to start being included in those conversations sometimes. Because, like you say, we could have... Jose Mourinho would have ended that game as a 1-0 win because he would have brought on 2 centre-backs, wouldn't he? And I think if Maresca doesn't quickly change his sort of idealised starting 11, I'm not going to move away from that. When you can make 5 substitutions on the other team, and let's be honest, the squad's getting better and better, the teams that we're playing against now, then we are going to be suffering from that.
I'm going to counter that, mate. When you say that idealised starting 11, I think we looked at today's starting 11 with what we have available. The injuries to Fofana, Badia, Shill, Reece James, who, yeah, he's on the bench, but he's only there to make up the numbers at the minute because we know he's not fit enough. Let's see if he gets some minutes against Morecambe. Lavia still not on the bench. Do you know what I mean? And the injuries that we have. Yeah. I think that's about as strong as we could have gone today.
By the way, I'm not slugging off the starting 11, but this is actually even more reason to then use the bench. It wasn't like we had, Tyreek George and we had loads of young kids on the bench.
No, we had experienced players who can pop up in important moments.
That could come in. And even if they're not the quality that they should be, they could come on and make up for it in their physicality.
Right. You are Tyreek Mitchell, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah? Or you're anyone in the Palace backline.
Yeah.
Are you happy at 60, 70 minutes to see João Felix and Nkunku jogging onto the pitch?
You're not.
No.
You're shitting yourselves.
There you go.
Yeah.
And Mark Yu would be the one that I would go to first because of his pressing ability and what that then creates for others.
I thought that was a smart sub. I thought, even though it came too late for me, I thought that was a good sub to make. And I hope that Maresca makes that sub more often.
Now, one thing I need to stop doing is doing match previews because in all my match previews recently, I keep singling out players and being specific about, this player's good for this player's good for that. When I'm previewing the opposition, I'm sort of giving them their plaudits and saying, this is why I think it'll be a tough game and whatnot. We've got to keep an eye on so-and-so. We've got to keep an eye on this player. Last time out, I said, Ipswich, I understand they're right at the bottom of the table, but you've got to keep an eye on Amari Hutchinson and Liam Delap because they can both cause you threats. What happens? They both go and fucking score against us and have a blinder. This time round, what do I say? I say, mate, we need to take our chances and be clinical early on because if it gets to the 70-minute mark and whatnot and we're drawing or we're 1 ahead and the game's still salvageable from a Crystal Palace point of view, the likes of Mateta and Eze and Sarr will really, really shift into gear. What then happens, Josh?
Well, you are Nostradamus after all. I think you might
Wish
have
I bloody wasn't.
Think you might have some tarot cards hidden in your bedroom and you just sort of pull them out every now and then to get these predictions right. But we know the answer. Eze gets the ball on the left-hand side. A brilliant pass over to Mateta. Basically, one of those FIFA goals that you sort of begrudged back in the day where you go, for fuck's sake, of course it goes in. But the moment that Eze gets the ball...
Not allowed to say the name of that goal. It's politically incorrect now.
You certainly can't say the name of that goal. No.
Some people don't know it.
What would be the politically correct way of saying that?
Nonce goal?
I still don't think that's politically correct.
Is that politically incorrect?
No, I don't think you can say that. No. But Eze does
say it on here. It's my podcast. I can say I want on here.
But Eze does it, and the moment that he gets the ball, you know it's going to go in the back of the goal hole, isn't it?
Straight in the goal hole. I tell you what, though, I thought he was going to go in the goal hole from a shot. I thought he was going to take confidence from the one he scored against us earlier on in the season. Thinks I can ping this across. He doesn't. He cuts it through to Mateta and it shows the telepathy, the understanding that those boys have got together. Very, very good. You got to give Palace their praise, man. You got to give them their praise.
Who are you blaming for that goal from a defensive perspective? Because Levi Cole gets drawn out, doesn't he? He's on the yellow card. Then you've got Malo Gusto, who I think did switch off.
Yep.
And then Josh has dragged... Josh has got two options,
Let's be honest, mate. Josh kind of loses his man.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's a baptism of fire, mate.
I'm not really blaming Josh, because also, I do think Gusto dropped him in it by not tracking his man.
And on the whole, if we take away that one moment, I think for a debut, as debuts go, listen, not everyone can be Trevor Chalobah banging in goals against Crystal Palace on his debut.
No,
Best player in the
can't.
world.
Yeah.
No, Scan over top.
I miss him, though. He's pretty good.
defender in the world.
Yeah.
I hope Trev watches the channel, by the way, because...
We've given him a lot of praise, and I love him.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he does. He's
does.
a very religious man.
He's a
Trevor
Jehovah's
Chalobah.
Witness.
He's a what?
I think he's a Jehovah's Witness.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
He's probably the only Jehovah's Witness that I would let in if they knocked at my door. Because do you remember you used to get it all the time? Jehovah's Witness.
You need to watch a film called Heretic, which is all about Mormons. And Hugh Grant is in it. You need to watch that. It's fantastic. It's where they do knock it. He's so good in this film as well.
Best Hugh Grant film of all time?
I know what you're going to say.
Go on. What am I going to say?
Are you going to say About a Boy?
About a Boy is number one.
I knew you were going to say that. Can I say, I always forget the name of this film. The rom-com about Christmas. What's that called? The Christmas one that he's in.
Are you on about The Holiday?
No, not The
I was
Holiday.
going to say, he's not even in it. What about Bridget Jones? Rom-com about Christmas?
No,
Hugh
he's in
Grant
another one.
4 Weddings and a Funeral?
No, I can't remember the name of it.
Oh. Well, either way.
Bridget Jones was good.
Either way. It's About a Boy.
Yeah.
Notting Hill.
Notting Hill was the one I was thinking of. Is that not Christmas?
Yeah, no Christmas involved in
I haven't
Notting
seen
Hill, my
that
friend,
yet.
I don't think. There's a sort of changing of the season scene
Yeah,
when he's
yeah.
walking through to "In our sunshine when
What a banger.
she's gone."
What a banger.
And then third, for Hugh Grant films, do you know what's underrated? Music and lyrics.
Okay.
I said I wasn't gonna break your heart, but
He was
then
good in Bridget
pop.
Jones as well.
He's great in Bridget Jones.
For me,
Shagger.
the underrated performance, which it was slightly different from what he'd done before, was The Gentleman. I thought he was very good in that.
Played a villain, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah.
And he was very, very wily, I would say, in that film.
Well, listen, before we shut off from this Hugh Grant chat, I'm going to give you a cause for optimism, okay? When we look at managers, sometimes managers will carry traits and patterns from previous clubs to other clubs. And when we look at Leicester City last season, they started the season romping the Championship. Now, do you think with the squad they had available, Leicester City should have been winning the Championship?
They were the best team by a country mile, probably the best team in the Championship in 10 years.
Okay. I would disagree with that. I think the Wolves side that went up were way better than that Leicester City side, to be completely honest.
I think a lot of people very highly rated that Leicester team. But
I think the comment section would say that the Wolves side that went up were better than the Leicester City side.
Ruben Neves.
I think they have João Moutinho in the Championship, or they signed him
they
after
had
the Championship. They had some great players like Jimenez up front. I'm pretty sure they had
Was
when they come up.
Was he there in the Championship?
He could have been. He could have been. They had some fucking good players, man. That Wolves side was unreal. But you think that Leicester side is the best one?
They had at the right back. He was very good, wasn't he, for them?
Yeah, he was not bad. Not bad. I'm pretty sure Rio was playing Championship football for QPR. No,
Rio Ferdinand.
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Yeah. Either way.
What's that got to do with Wolves?
Anyway, what I'm saying, I don't know. It just came to me. I'm trying to think best player to ever play in the Championship. Easy. Lee Trundle for Swansea. 0-1. No, listen. So when we talk about managers carrying traits, right? Leicester were favourites to finish the Championship as winners, okay? And by the halfway mark of the season, more or less, he had them there. They were flying. They were doing exactly what they should be doing, thanks mostly to Cesare Casadei. Cesare. But he then suffered a mid-season slump. And then, after about 10 games or so, he got it back together. Now, in that mid-season slump, people are going, oh my God, Leicester might finish in the playoffs now. They've completely fucked it and whatever. They ended up finishing top, right? Yeah. So, I am not saying that Chelsea set out this season as favourites to win the Premier League. But would you say that on the squad we have, we were certified contenders to finish in the top 4?
No.
I think we were.
I don't think we were certified.
I do not think at the start of the season, finishing inside the top 4 would have been classed, before a ball was kicked, as overachieving for this Chelsea side. Bearing in mind, mate, we came, a couple of points off last time out?
Yeah, probably 6, I think.
Couple of points, couple of games.
That's quite a lot of points.
Well, it's not really when you had the start that Mauricio Pochettino had.
Yeah, fair enough.
Do you know what I mean?
But that was part of the season. I think a lot of pundits and fans that weren't Chelsea fans wouldn't have put us in the top 4 this season.
I think the only one that did put us in the top 4 was Gary Neville, by the way.
There you go. Your favourite.
He's my favourite guest on the Gary Neville podcast. 100%.
Who's your favourite on the Jerry Knight podcast?
Josh Veste. No.
It's Jerry Knight.
I'm joking. No. Matisse, he came on a while back. Yeah.
Benson, definitely.
Benson, there you go. There's the goat of Chelsea YouTube. When's Benson over?
He's just been over because he was here for Christmas. Fucked it.
Yeah.
He's been asking after you.
I can't be bothered with the Zoom thing. I just like people in person with me.
We'll get him back soon. He'll be back. He'll be back in the UK.
Fly over. Josh should cover it, George.
Yeah.
Either way, right? So I look at that and I think, do you know what? If that pattern continues in terms of a little bit of a mid-season blip and then we pick it back up, God, tongue twister, then we'll be all right and we'll finish 4th.
You say that. What are the next fixtures that we've got coming up?
Bournemouth.
Yep. Pretty hard game.
Yeah, pretty hard game.
If they win that game, they could go above us.
Then I believe we've got maybe West Ham?
Wolves,
and then Manchester City. Yeah.
The next 3.
Yeah.
How many points are we getting out of those 3 games?
Yeah, but mate, we do this. We looked at this run and we went fucking hell. Fulham, Ipswich, whatever. How many points are we getting out of them games? And ultimately, it didn't serve us well. So I'd never look at another run of fixtures and go, oh God, how many points are we getting out of them? We need a reaction. We need a reaction. We really do need that. We also, listen, no one's going to get the violins out for me, but we need players to come back from injury. It's crucial that we do get those players back.
I feel like we almost can't say that anymore now.
Why?
I feel that there are other teams that have got equally as many injuries and are not going on about it.
What? Out of the 3 teams above us?
Man City have got a lot of injuries. They're not going on about it, are they? That's all they do.
Fuck off there. That's all they fucking talk about.
I know. Rodri injured.
Rodri.
Yeah.
I'm talking about one-man team, mate. Rodri, poor man's Caicedo.
Yeah. Oh, mate, they've got Oscar Bob out as well. He's a good player.
Oh, no, the keeper's out. We've only got a striker that scores about 800 goals a season up front. Get on with it.
We
can't.
What I mean? Do you know what? It is reminding me a little bit of last season when we were getting the amount of injuries that we're getting now.
You know what, though? Man City, they put 3 past West Ham today. So, sorry, 4. 1 by a 3-goal margin.
4-1.
So did we. But, I'm not clutching at straws here. We didn't concede in that match.
We didn't, no. I mean, I think everyone would say we're a better team.
Yeah.
Better manager.
Better heritage.
Is Maresca under pressure?
He's under pressure to start winning games. No, he's not under pressure for his job or anything like that.
No.
Silly. I think, listen, if right now you had said to me at the start of the season, and I get it, things change as they go along. But if right now you had said to me at the start of the season, right, come the turn of the year, 1 game into the new year, more or less, you are going to be sat 4th. You're going to have a 1-point lead over Newcastle, who are sat 5th behind you. You're going to have a 2-point lead, I think it is, over Manchester City, who are sat 6th.
3-point lead over Bournemouth. And 4-point lead over Aston Villa. Yeah,
and the teams above you are going to be 1 win from really catching them. Yep. I know Arsenal, I think, are 4 points now.
Arsenal, they'll win this game today, won't they? So they'll be 6 points ahead of us.
Yeah, well, there you go. But Forest are there to be caught. Do you know what I mean?
Forest are there to be caught. Forest will drop off.
Yeah.
I'm certain of that, actually.
There you go.
Imagine if Forest finished 3rd.
If I had to put my money on it now,
top 4.
I think, right, and I don't wish it upon them.
It might be 5th.
I do love the Geordies. No, it's top 4. I do love the Geordies. But if I had to put my money on it now,
yep.
As fine form as Newcastle winner at the moment, one, I was going to say 2, just 1 key injury, and I won't even voice it because I don't want to speak it into his existence because I do love the Geordies. But you know who, if he gets injured, then
Isak.
I'm not saying it. I'm not voicing it. But I'm just saying if he gets injured, then their form drops off. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. They don't really have.
Where's Callum Wilson now? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, no, he isn't even really an option.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. But before,
I'm going to call it now.
Yep.
Liverpool win the league.
Yep.
Arsenal run them close, but finish maybe 4 points behind with by the end of the season. City finish in 3rd and Chelsea are in 4th. And then I think it will probably be... I reckon it'll be Newcastle finish 5th in the Champions League spot.
If they're watching, which they probably won't be, but if they're watching, there will be plenty of Nottingham Forest fans that are really disappointed at you for that.
I think Forest, they'll have a great season. They might finish 7th, and that would be a good year for them.
I think they'll finish higher than 7th.
Who do they finish above then? Who I said?
Okay. Not that that you said. I think they could finish. I think they could finish above Newcastle. Listen, I think they could fucking finish above us, to be honest. But if I had to put money on it, I would say Newcastle have got enough to edge them. The thing is, so far, you've got to go on the history of what you've seen in this season. And so far, we haven't really seen much of a blip from Nottingham Forest. We've seen them turn up week in, week out.
Yeah.
Whereas Newcastle, we've seen have a good run of form, a bad run of form, a patchy run of form, and now a good run of form, all in the space of just the halfway mark of the season.
Do you know what's really interesting?
And the 1-1, sorry to interrupt you, mate, but the 1-1, I know they won today, but like Villa, you don't really know what you're going to get with Villa.
Villa are not having a good year. No, I was looking at the Forest fixtures. They've got Wolves, then they've got Liverpool, Southampton, winnable game, Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham, Newcastle, Arsenal, City, Ipswich, Man United. So, I mean, we're going to know how good Forest are if they get through that run of games. Because they're all of those fixtures that I really mentioned against the rivals for that position, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, listen, either way, I think that it is definitive now that we need to do some sort of business in the January transfer window. Now, don't jump the gun. I'm not saying we go and spend 80 million on a certain Crystal Palace defender or anything like that. However, what I am saying is there'll be players that need to be moved on so that we can free up a little bit of budget. There will be players that I think will go out on loan with a view to maybe move on. Say, for example, I can see a Ben Chilwell situation that is similar in a way to the Raheem Sterling situation. Oh my God, we're going to have him back soon.
Don't even think about that.
And also, I think that there's players that are already out on loan from us that we really, I don't know contractually if we're able to do this, but we really need to look at possibly recalling. But I think that I wouldn't be putting my neck on the line here to say Chelsea spend money in January. Would you agree with that?
I think with the amount of sales that we can do, I think we could easily sell 4 or 5 players.
Yeah.
Or at least get them off the wage bill, put it that way. Then we will have some wiggle room to be able to do it. Now, the January market is always difficult, but with 5 players going out the door, 1 or 2 could certainly come in. So
there you go.
why don't we, I don't know, do something like a whole video about that?
Let's do it. Let's do it on Thursday. We'll try and get up for you Thursday or Friday morning. Please do me a massive favour. Smash the like button on this video right now. And if you've made it to the end, you are one of the hardcore. Tomorrow, we are dropping a new video off of Joey and Josh. And this is one that we enjoyed recording because it's a TV show that we used to love for years growing up. Geordie Shore. Speaking of Geordies, the rise and fall of Geordie Shore. We're dropping off Joey and Josh tomorrow.
One of the best television shows that I have ever watched.
And coming up on the channel, Joey and Josh, after that, we have got one of the best true crime videos. So we've recorded a couple of true crime videos so far, and this is easily the best one we've done.
It is. Mainly because of all of the footage that you can do to explain it as well. Like, this story is insane. Twists and turns.
Let's just give him one teaser.
Go on.
Name of the woman who was kidnapped, the first woman.
Michelle Knight.
Name of her son?
Joey.
My sister's
Joey has lived through this.
My sister's
it was not
name?
actually you.
My sister's name?
Michelle
Knight. And the victim's son was Joey Knight. How crazy is that?
Just saying.
If that is not enough to get you watching, I don't know what is. People, try and cheer up. Try and stay happy. It's not the end of the world. We'll win next time out. I'll see you all in the next one.